We all know that bad habits are hard to break and good habits are very easy to break. Or are they? Hi, this is Denise here of Diva Pilates and Wellness, and today is day 24 of the Health and Wellness 30-day video challenge. Today I want to talk to you about habits, good and bad. A few years ago, I ran into a woman who used to work out, and she told me that she wished that she could get back into the habit of working out because her body just doesn't feel the same, and it had been doing things that it never did as much even before she started to work out, but that she just could not get herself back into the habit of working out again. I didn't really think too much of it at the time, but then recently, as I was walking through Wheatway Park, I was crossing paths with an older gentleman. He's about maybe 80, 82 years old, 83, and he told me that he was so glad that he started back to walking again because he said it was a habit that he had to walk in the park every day during the warmer months, but that he had just stopped completely, didn't wean himself off. He just completely stopped cold turkey. And he said it did things to his body that he didn't like, and he started to feel really tired, really sluggish, and felt like he said it almost felt like as if he was becoming ill. So he decided that he would go back to his walking and get back into that habit and start walking again. So he said he had been back walking again for about 3 weeks, and he said he felt so much better. And after speaking to him, I remembered this woman who told me that she could not get back into the habit of working out again, even though her body was letting her know that that's exactly what she needed to do. So today I want to talk about good habits versus bad habits as far as picking them up and or leaving them. Now, let me read to you what I had from the dictionary as a definition of habit. One definition that I got, which was very interesting to me, is an acquired behavior or pattern followed until it has become involuntary. Now that can be anything. It could be when you were growing up and your parents told you always look both ways before you cross the street, okay? Or always brush your teeth and wash your face when you wake up. Wash your hands before you come and sit down at the table. So these things you did them so repetitiously that they became habits, and then it was constantly said to you over and over and over again that they became a habitual thing that you just did without really having to think about. So you didn't have to work hard to actually do those things. Then another definition says it's a particular practice repeated regularly. A particular practice, like say, let's use working out, exercising. It's a particular practice. Some people do it, some people don't. But if it's practiced regularly, it becomes habit to where you know when you wake up in the morning or when you come home in the evening what you're going to do. You're going to get up, you're going to work out, or when you come home, you're going to work out. It's not anything you have to really think about. It's just something that you know that you're going to do. And then the last definition I had is called addiction. Now, addiction can be anything. Usually, when you hear the word addiction, people automatically think about drugs or alcohol. But habits can be addictive also. Like some people have habits of every time they come home, the first thing they have to do is they have to take off their work clothes and put on comfortable clothes and can't actually have a relaxing day until they do. Does that mean that they're addicted to taking off their clothes? No, but it kind of follows that mindset. An addiction is something that you do because your body gives you signals that if you don't do it, your your body is gonna pay you in a way that is not going to be very pleasant. So that brings the question of, is exercise addictive to a certain point? Now, can you be overly um, serious about exercise, overly ambitious about it, to the point where you're actually injuring yourself, but you can't stop it, and that becomes an addiction? But it's also to be considered a habit. And can it be broken? Yes, if you can break an addiction to drugs and alcohol or smoking, then you can break an addiction to exercise. But I'm not going to focus on the addiction type, because neither one of these two people that I met actually had any type of an addiction. What they had formed were habits, and apparently they had broken bad habits to um, create new habits and good habits, and then they broke those good habits. Now, what I'm going into the psychological aspect of creating and breaking or sticking to these habits, because from the standpoint of psychology, it's a fixed way of thinking. Like, you're willing, okay, you're feeling, and you're doing something through a required repetition of a mental experience, meaning that you told yourself over and over again, I'm going to get up and I'm going to work out in the morning, or I'm going to come home from work and I'm going to put on my workout clothes and I'm going to work out. And you told yourself this over and over again. But the operative word here was that you were willing. If you're not willing, you can tell yourself these things over and over again, but you will never do it, because you haven't gotten there here. Where the mind goes, the body follows, and that's how we create habits, whether good or bad. Because if you're constantly telling yourself, "Oh, I'm going to have this cigarette," or "I'm going to go home and have a big bowl of ice cream and cake every time I come home from work," guess what? That's exactly what you're going to do, because you basically psychologically set yourself up for this, and where your mind went, your body follows. So naturally, your body craved that. But if you're telling yourself, "I'm going to come home and work out," and it's constant, 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 and you're doing it, after a while, your body's going to crave it, which is what happened to those two people. So while one decided she didn't have the will to create that good habit again, the other one decided that he did have the will, and he created that good habit again, and he got back to his walking program in Wheatway Park. Because what happens is, now let's go back to that addiction thing. When you crave something, good or bad, and your body doesn't get it, it reacts in a certain way, right? So if you're on drugs, or you smoke cigarettes, or you drink, you don't get it, you start getting all kinds of crazy nervous or whatever in your body. It's the same thing when your body's accustomed to having habitual good things happen to it, like you're working out, it's getting stronger, the blood is flowing, the air is going through, okay, and then you just stop completely. Your body's going to rebel. The same way it rewards you for what you do good to it, it's going to rebel if you just take that good thing away. It's like you're on a medication and you just stop. You don't wean yourself off, like say, "Okay, I'm gonna stop working out, but I'm just not gonna just completely cut it out." So you work out one day, skip 2 days, work out another day, skip 2 days, work out another day, skip 3 days, until your body slowly becomes accustomed to not having any type of physical activity. Not that it won't let you know, because it still will, because now you'll find yourself sluggish, even though you didn't stop immediately. Eventually, you'll get to that point where your body is like sluggish, and you'll start to feel those aches and pains again. But when you just stop completely, your body will actually crave that movement. It will crave that adrenaline rush. It will crave that blood rush, that endorphin rush that it gets when you work out. It will crave it to the point where it won't leave you alone, and it's like you need to. I gotta get in there and work out. Now you could ignore that craving, and eventually it will go away. But for most of us, if you have a will to get back into that workout routine, then your body will reward you by eliminating those symptoms that you experienced while you were craving the workout. So apparently, the older gentleman decided he wasn't going to ignore his cravings that his body was asking him for, and he went out there and he recreated that good habit because the alternative was the way he said he was feeling, sluggish and with aches and pains and low energy, and his body remembered that good feeling and let him know in ways that wasn't pleasant, I need to have that back. So the question is, are you going to form good habits or are you going to form bad habits? And the question of whether it's harder to um, eliminate a good habit or easier, I would say no, because you may in your mind say, I'm not going to do it, but you're still going to suffer, quote unquote, withdrawal symptoms from working out because your body's going to give you little signals and it's going to let you know you started me on this good thing and now you're taking it away. So this is how I'm going to reward you. I'm going to reward you with tiredness. I'm going to reward you with sluggishness. I'm going to reward you with these with stiffness and aches and pains and bad appetite and bad food cravings. This is how I'm going to reward you because when you were doing all of these good things for me, I wanted good things to go inside of me, but you took it away. So this is how I'm going to reward you. You can't blame it because it's a habit that you yourself formed. So from Diva Pilates and Wellness to you, form those good habits. Make them a part of your life, and your body will reward you by craving everything else that's good for it. But remember, before you can form that good habit, you have to have it psychologically in your mind and be willing to form it, and your body will thank you. So that's it for today. We gonna ignore that telephone again. I'm gonna just tell that thing, tear it right out the wall. But meanwhile, stay blessed and stay well. Bye bye.